Just reading some notes about you, I mean, you were a skeptic about these things to start off with. Just explain what converted you in the first place.
Yes, before I joined the UFO project, I knew nothing about the subject at all. I thought it was all just lights in the sky and stuff and nonsense. But then I looked at some of the old case files. The MOD's UFO project dates back to 1950. Since then, we've actually had about 10,000 UFO sightings. Many of the witnesses were pilots, police officers. Sometimes these things were tracked on radar, and on occasions jets have actually been scrambled to try and intercept these things. But consistently there have been a hardcore of these things whose speeds and manoeuvres just leave us standing, and that to me was interesting and slightly concerning. My point is that our air defences do seem to be regularly penetrated by structured craft.
Regularly? How regularly?
My point is that our air defences do seem to be regularly penetrated by structured craft.
Regularly? How
regularly?
I've read about this incident you had in 1951, and you said you saw literally hundreds of unidentifiable flying objects.
Yes, they were flying quite high. How high we couldn't tell because we couldn't get anywhere near their altitude. But they were either very large craft way up or smaller craft still well above what we could get to.
For a day and a half, all of this happened, but then no one wanted to talk about it.
Well, we sent a report forward on it, and the answer that finally came back months later was they were probably high-flying seed pods, which didn't sound very logical.
There are always a lot of excuses. There's always weather balloons. I've heard that one before. In 1951, you couldn't even get close to the things that were flying overhead. You or anyone else that was flying.
They were faster, higher.
6 years later, Cooper again encountered a UFO. This one definitely was not a weather balloon. While supervising flight testing in Edwards Air Force Base, his military camera crew actually filmed an unidentified saucer-shaped object landing near the site.
As they were sitting there filming, a little saucer came from, I say little saucer, it was a saucer, came flying over their heads, put down 3 little landing gear and landed right out on the dry lake bed. And they picked up their cameras and started over toward it, filming as they went. And when they got in fairly close to it, it lifted up, put the gear back in the wheel wells, tipped up, and took off at a great rate of speed. And so they came into my office and told me what had happened, and I sent them over to develop the film. And then had to go through all the proper regulations of reporting this, and we wound up having to send the film forward to Washington in the base jet airplane, and I don't know whether anyone's ever seen it since.
So you have to go further than that.
Do you believe in life on other planets?
Oh yes, there's not much question at all. But there's life throughout the universe. We're not alone in the universe at all.
You're convinced that we're not alone in the universe?
Oh, I know for sure we're not alone in the universe. Now, have we been able to identify for sure where the other planets are? No, we have not. Certainly not in our solar system. But they've identified quite a number of planets now that very likely could be life-bearing planets. And I happen to be privileged enough to have be in on the fact that we have been visited on this planet. And the UFO phenomenon is real, although it's been covered up by our governments for quite a long time.